Let's start from the basics. In 2022, we calculated the unit economics of quick commerce companies. And when we did this case study, we highlighted three major challenges with the quick commerce industry. And because of these problems, all the companies in the industry were in losses. So the question is, what exactly were these problems? Well, to understand that, you will have to understand some math. So let's dive into it. According to this Economic Times article, it costed anywhere between 25 to 40 lakhs to set up a dark store. And a typical dark store is about 2000 to 2500 square feet large. It has a total of 34 staff at the store who are mostly packers. The average order value was 350 to 400 rupees for the industry in 2022. And the gross profit margins of the companies were between 15% and 20%. Now, what is gross margin? It is your total revenue minus the cost of goods and services divided by revenue. So if you shop for 400 rupees, which includes bread, milk and vegetables, then the gross margin is revenue, which is 400 rupees minus the cost price of the products divided by revenue. So here, if the company is getting a 20% margin, then the cost of products to the company is 320 rupees and the gross margin is 80 rupees. So this is pretty amazing, right? 80 rupees profit per order, and there are hundreds of orders that are going out. Well, not really, because this is not net profit but gross margin. So this 80 rupees margin does not include the indirect fixed cost like office expenses, rent, administrative cost or even delivery cost. Because back then, delivery was made free no matter how less you ordered. Because back then, most of these quick commerce companies, they were giving out free deliveries regardless of how less your order value was. And this last mile delivery cost was one of the most expensive cost variables in the chain. Because if you do the math, a delivery boy gets a salary of at least 25 to 35k, and on an average, a rider clocked 20 to 30 deliveries a day back then. So we took a safe average of 30,000 rupees salary with 25 deliveries a day. So now we have 750 deliveries a month and the cost per delivery was 40 rupees. And sometimes this cost could even go up to 60 rupees per order because of inefficiencies. But right now, let's not get there and let's consider this cost to be 40 rupees. Now, if you take out 40 rupees delivery charge from a gross margin of 80 rupees, we only have 40 rupees margin left per order. Now, according to Money Control Pro's research, this dark store in Mumbai touched 600 orders a day back then. So assuming 600 orders per day, they would have 18,000 orders per month. So with 18,000 orders in a month, with a 40 rupees margin excluding delivery, that leaves the store with 7.2 lakh rupees per month. But this store also has 34 employees with a salary ranging between 18 to 20k. So even if we take the lower limit of 18,000 rupees, the salary cost itself amounts to 6.12 lakh rupees. Now add up rent or installment for the place, electricity bills, software, marketing and maintenance, and this clearly looks like a cash draining store, right? So in summary, from this case study, we could figure out that there were three major challenges in the quick commerce industry. Number one, the average order value of quick commerce companies was dwindling between 350 and 400 rupees. And with such a small AOV, it was very difficult to make a profit. Number two, gross margins of 20% were highly unlikely because even back then, DMart was operating at a 16% gross margin. And thirdly, the delivery cost was eating into the gross margin of these companies. Because if their gross margin was 80 rupees and 40 to 60 rupees was going into just delivery, then you could imagine it was practically a cash burning machine. So the question is, what could be the solution to this problem? Well, if you remember back then, in this case study, we stated that if we only increase the average order value from 400 to 550 rupees, then suddenly the same dark store will become a cash machine. How? Well, this is how the math will change if you increase the average order value from 400 to 550 rupees. So now let's consider the average order value as 550 rupees. And now if you do the math with 600 orders a day and 18,000 orders a month, the equation looks completely different. A 20% gross margin would be 110 rupees. Deducting delivery cost of 40 rupees, we have 70 rupees per order. Multiply that by 18,000 and we suddenly have 12.6 lakh rupees in gross margin excluding the delivery charge. And now if we take out salaries, we would still have a comfortable 6.84 lakh rupees in margins to pay for maintenance, marketing, rent, software and other expenses per dark store. And when it comes to software services, if you have 100 to 200 profitable dark stores, then the cost incurred per store decreases by a large extent. So it's basically a game of scale. And you know what? This is what we had stated back then, where we said that if the average order value goes from 400 rupees to 550 rupees, then quick commerce will become a gold mine industry. And you know what, guys? This is exactly what has happened in the past 1 year.